The gentlewoman from Texas, Ms. Garcia, is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it's always great to have you with us, Director Chopra. You're always a breath of fresh air, always willing to respond to all the questions and with such candor and precision. I was a little taken aback by my colleagues' comments that you're running your agency in a lawless manner, acting outside of the law. I feel like I know a little bit about the law, being a lawyer and a former judge, and I think if you were doing anything lawless or outside of the law, I'd probably be the first one to raise the red flag. So can you assure the public today and those listening that you are in fact following the law and doing everything that is mandated by Congress?
Yes, and we take those congressional mandates seriously. We are implementing each and every piece that has been required of us, and we just take that responsibility seriously.
Right, and as you responded to an earlier question, if the law was passed, it is signed and it's a law, of course you're going to follow that law.
Yes, and I actually would recommend you putting deadlines on that because it makes sure that it happens. We do have issues with other agencies where it's passed and never gets done.
Well, thank you. It's reassuring, and I had full confidence that would be your response, but I thought it was necessary to put that in the record. Because under your leadership, the CFPB has taken unprecedented action to combat junk fees and medical debt while holding credit card reporting companies accountable and curbing predatory lenders. As always, you've been there up front with a commitment to protecting our nation's consumers. I would like to begin by discussing your outstanding efforts to tackle the junk fee situation. Prior to today's hearing, I reviewed a useful fact sheet about CFPB's whole-of-government approach to addressing junk fees, and it briefly mentioned the CFPB's enforcement actions against MoneyGram, an international remittance provider. This was of great interest to me because, as you know, my district is Latino. It's 77% Latino. And many people in my district either know someone or have relatives in Mexico. And in fact, Texas is has the second highest amount of remittances that go to Mexico within the United States. In 2021, in fact, $7.7 billion in remittances were sent from Texas to Mexico, making up 15.9% of all transactions. In 2012, the CFPB implemented its remittance rule, requiring companies that offer remittances to provide consistent disclosure regarding the price of a transfer before the consumer makes a payment. Less than 10 years later, consumer and immigration groups have found that U.S. consumers lose approximately $8.7 billion in hidden fees due to the exchange rate markups. In June of 2023, you testified before this committee and recognized this issue, where remittances are advertised at zero cost, but a hidden foreign exchange markup is added. These junk fees impact a large number of my constituents who send remittances to their families. Director Chopra, what action has the CFPB taken since June to eliminate these junk fees within remittances, or what other action can we expect from you soon?
Well, let me first share that remittances are such an important market for us to be focused on. We also know that remittances are a key part of, U.S. national security policy as well, given the volume that takes place. So let me share this. I do share your concerns about advertising, especially that something is free, when in reality it has a big cost. We've actually taken a number of enforcement actions over the last 2 years, including fairly recently, to go after violations of the remittance rule. I think as more consumers are doing this digitally, we're going to need to evaluate whether those rules need any updates so that they're fit for the modern times. We do see that there's many people who are sending them through apps, and we want to make sure they can compare, get a good offer, and really know what they're getting into.
Oh, great. Also, I read your semi-annual report, which notes that the efforts to diversify in terms of your contractors, with 43% of contracts going to MWBE programs. However, when we looked at the breakdown of the contract, it only showed 0.2%, not even 1%, 0.2% of the dollars spent went to Latino-owned businesses. What step is the CFPB taking to ensure that Latino contractors are at the table and get some of those contractors?
Yeah, so we have our Office of Women and Minority Inclusion that is required to oversee that. I'm happy to answer more questions for the record.
Yeah,
All right, Mr. Chair, I'll submit those in writing. Thank you.
Thank you. The gentlelady's time has expired.